Hi, I'm Eric Weaver. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing for Feed Energy. I've been with the company about 2 years. I started becoming interested in Feed Energy when I learned a little bit about the product that they call R2. And R2 was a product at the time that was designed for turkeys, mainly turkey feed. It's been known for quite some time that salmonella can be carried through feed. And Feed Energy had developed this product they called R2 that was rich in some antimicrobial type additives that could help control salmonella in feed. So with some good success in both in vitro trials and also in birds themselves and in barns, even all the way to harvest, there was a lot of potential for the use of R2 also in pigs. Originally, when I first saw it, I was interested in the antibacterial uses for R2. But beginning in about 2014, there was a lot of work done to show that PED, really pathogenic viral disease in pigs, could be potentially spread through feed. So we got together and started with the company about 2 years ago. And after joining the company, we started down a series of trials to look at its antiviral potential in feed as well. And did some of our own in vitro work in collaboration with Iowa State University. We did the R&D team, Dr. Desari and Mahfouz Abdullah, good researchers that were able to look at whether we could inactivate virus in feed, showed that it was possible, and went from there to a larger study. First, we just looked at PRRS in a controlled setting. We did what was called just a biosafety study. We fed pigs or contaminated pigs with kind of an inoculum that had PRRS in it, PRRS and PED, and we showed in vivo that there was potential for activity. In fact, we had very high success with both PRRS and PED in that model, particularly PRRS. But we were encouraged enough by the results that we got together with kind of the leading researcher in this area, is a Dr. Scott D. up at Pipestone Applied Research. And Dr. D has a model, very practical model, where he contaminates feed with an inoculum of 3 different viruses, Seneca Valley virus, PRRS virus, and also PED. Originally that was called the snowball from hell, I guess, and then he adapted it to ice, to an ice block challenge. So they freeze those 3 viruses in an ice block, and they take that ice block and they just literally dump it in a feed bin and allow it to melt and to contaminate that feed. And then the goal of this study that we were involved in was to test the activity of 5 different additives, one of those being R2. It's done in a very controlled situation, very controlled feeding situation. Each room has got its own level of level 2 biosecurity, so that you don't contaminate between rooms or contaminate animals between rooms. And so you add the additive, dump the ice block into the feed, put it in the feed bin, and wait for results. So those viruses are typically highly pathogenic, and so within 7 to 10 days, normally you start to see clinical signs. And we got terrific results with R2 in that model. Showed almost perfect gains relative to the control pigs in the study. So we did have a couple of pigs that with Seneca Valley seemed to show a few really low titers or really just a little bit of detectable virus, but overall almost got perfect results showing that it inactivated the 3 viruses, PED, PRRS, and Seneca Valley. So, and that study was actually just published in Transboundary Emerging Diseases. It was a part of a larger study, or a larger paper, where there were 5 different experiments involved in that paper, and it's also being followed up with other studies as well. So initially we got really great results in the lab and with Iowa State, and then finished that off with a very good large practical study to prove that R2 in fact does help with the protection against viral disease spread through feed. There were 2 different parameters evaluated for the effectiveness of R2 in this trial. One was performance, which is average daily gain. Young pigs are very sensitive as far as viral disease goes in showing a reduction in average daily gain. Usually pigs when they get viral disease, they get sick, they run a fever, and so they quit eating and they quit gaining. And that's in fact what happened in the control pigs. The remarkable thing was that pigs fed R2 actually showed equal performance and equal gains to the control pigs in the study. So terrific results. It was almost like the pigs weren't even exposed to viruses. We couldn't be more pleased with the outcome of the study. It's exactly what you hope for when you conduct some early studies in vitro. You do a lot of hard work for a couple of years before you even do such a large study. It was a large investment. We had a lot riding on that study, and we couldn't be happier with the results. We had, as far as the effectiveness of the additive, it was almost perfect and exactly what producers are looking for in adding biosecurity products to their feed.